1. Hello, once again. Welcome to another episode of the podcast series, Let's Talk. This is a podcast series with pretty much focusing on indie VTubers and their dynamic, and we get pretty much guests that have pretty much any relation or is a VTuber to just talk about elements of VTubing around us. Let me know if the background music is too loud or anything, just let me know. Feel free to join in discussion with chat. It's a very casual kind of podcast, and today our guest is our own friendly neighborhood barista, MochaMagica, pretty much now a variety VTuber and connoisseur in moe and cuteness. Pretty much Mocha throughout her VTubing career has been spreading the love through coffee. How are you doing? If you want to introduce yourself a little bit more, feel free to do so.
Yeah, sure. Hello, I am MochaMagica. I've been VTubing for like a year now, almost a year. I debuted in like March, but I've been kind of working on or in the VTubing community for like about a year, yeah. I mostly do like comfy content stuff, like just kind of chilling and variety game streaming, that kind of thing.
All right.
We're gonna talk about K-On! For 2 hours, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how we met, is on our friend's stream, and I was like, yo, K-On's hype, and then Mocha was like, damn, K-On's pretty hype too, and I'm like, nice. So I know you before you became a VTuber, so I just want to know like your streaming experience before VTubing in general, or any like other like broadcasting thing you've ever done. So yeah.
All right, if we want to go way back in like middle school, I was really into watching like RuneScape skit videos. And I'm like, these are really cool and fun. Like, I want to make this kind of stuff. So I started making like little like they weren't skits because I wasn't smart enough to write a script back then, but I would just like record me playing RuneScape and stuff, and that was like back in middle school, and then it kind of evolved from there. In high school I started taking it more seriously, and I was like centered around like recording like Call of Duty videos, and I was a trashy Call of Duty YouTuber. Smash that like button. And I played a couple of variety games too. And then like early college, I was streaming like League every day, and I wasn't really too worried about like views and stuff. I still am not really too worried about views and stuff. I cared about like talking with people and having a good time, getting like fun clippable moments and like sharing them. So that's kind of the short version of my streaming and YouTube history, content creation history. And now I'm a VTuber.
Way back. Like way
back. Oh yeah.
Yeah, also I would disable all push-up redeems because I don't want to do them during the podcast. But yeah, sure. But moving on. So I guess like how did you get into like VTubing? Like what was your first exposure to like VTubers? Like for me it's like Ninomae. Like when she first came out I was like, yo, this is hype. But for you, what was that kind of starting moment where you got into VTubing or the VTubing world, either corporate or indie? Like what was your first exposure to that?
So I want to say Kizuna I might have been, but if I really think about it, I think like, which she technically wasn't, I don't know if you would classify her as a VTuber back then, but like Nanners' old like song cover videos, which she would do like, she would like cover songs, but like in kind of a anime girl version. Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. I think that was like my first exposure to what I guess evolved into VTubing now.
Yeah. Have you ever like, because there's the typical like, oh, I watched one Hololive clip and now I'm forever in the rabbit hole. Like was there an experience for you for that, or was it like, oh, I was just following like Ninomae as well as like Nyanners, and then boom, Nanners is a VTuber now. Holy shit.
So what ultimately led me to become a VTuber was I used to watch a lot of art streams because I wanted to be an artist, but I was too stubborn to actually put the work in. So I had this thing where I would just like sit in people's art streams and be like, man, I want to do that. That looks so cool. And I would just kind of chill and hang out in there. And one art streamer that I watched, Chica Dio, her name's just Chica on Twitch now. She was drawing. I think I watched her draw her own model, and then I watched her draw Penelope Punch's model too. And Penelope Punch is one of the people who kind of inspired me to become a VTuber, because she was also trans, and I was like, hey, I didn't know like trans people were into VTubing. So that's what kind of ultimately led me. It kind of gave me the confidence, and it was like, hey, there's like a space for me here, and that's ultimately what kind of led me to become a VTuber.
Okay, yeah. I realized, like, for me, like, as I like went into the VTubing community, it's like VTubing was like a great way to express yourself, like especially for LGBTQ plus. I noticed like a good percentage of VTubers are LGBTQ plus. That's a mouthful. So yeah, and I think that's like a really cool thing that VTubing allows an avenue of self-expression for people who might not be able to do so in public.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, especially for trans people, it's good to kind of, if you're not able to in real life, have a space where you can kind of experiment with your gender identity and just kind of find a place with like-minded people that you can feel comfortable in. That was kind of a big comforting thing to me, because before I maybe had like one or two friends that were also trans, but yeah, now I have like tons. Like, I have a list of just hundreds of people that I know that I've interacted at least once with anyway. So that it's good to have that kind of that space where, you know, like people who are like-minded.
Right. So I guess like now as we encompass this whole like concept of VTubing, let's talk about like your design. Like, did you come up with the design? And, like, how did you like pretty much become what is today as MochaMagica?
All right, so the first thing was the name. So before, my name was Moe Moe Mocha, and I think one of my friends was helping me come up with the name, because I can't make decisions on my own. And we probably spent like a week trying to think of something, and I was like, you know, my favorite gemstones of like fluorites, and maybe we can have something like gemstone or fluorite related, because I'm kind of a rock nerd. And then we were thinking just like, I don't know. So eventually we got to coffee, because I was like, you know, I really like coffee, so maybe we could like do something fun with that and kind of have like a cafe vibe. And then I was rewatching K-On! Clips, as you do.
Yes.
And it was like
the best
and it
kind
was
of
like,
clips.
And I saw the Moe Moe Kyun clip, and I'm like, my favorite coffee is mocha. And then like Moe Moe Mocha, that's a pretty good name. So that's how I came with the name. And then from there, I was like, okay, how the heck do I get a VTuber model? And luckily, just around that time, I was thinking about that. VRoid Studio was starting to get popular. So I downloaded VRoid Studio, and like I stayed up till like 5 a.m. making my model. But I knocked it all out in like one night, a lot of caffeine. Don't really remember how I did it. Kind of blacked out from the caffeine.
Wow, you just wake up, it's like, wow, here's a model.
I mean, that's how I got through most of my college assignments. Was I would hide in the basement of the library, have like 2 cups of coffee, and I would like go in a caffeine blackout, and I'd wake up the next morning. I'm like, hey, my final project's done.
That's magic.
Yeah, the magic of coffee.
Yeah. So but now you are like MochaMagica. So how did you go from Moe Moe Mocha to MochaMagica?
So that was kind of I don't know. So Moe Moe Mocha is like a nice name, but like one thing I would run into is like I'd go into people's chats and people would call me like Moe or Mo, and I'm like, that's okay. But like my name's Mocha. Like I want to go by Mocha. So having the Mocha being front facing, I thought was a good idea. And then also there was another VTuber who like debuted before me who had kind of a similar name, so I wanted to like change it to avoid any future confusion between us. There never was any confusion, but just to kind of avoid that obstacle, I changed it for that reason too. But the new name is kind of a reference to Madoka Magica.
Also a very good anime.
My second favorite anime.
Good choice. I think that's also my second favorite actually.
Amazing.
Yeah. Like I think my top 3 are Keion, Madoka, and then Hanasaku Iroha. That's like my top 3.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
It's just kind of nice. It's a very good vibe. I'm a huge Slice of Life fan, so that's why I put a lot of Slice of Life at my top 10.
I feel like I need a new Slice of Life anime. I feel like I've exhausted everything that I can think of for that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is coming out like this season, so.
Yeah, there is one that some people in my Discord were talking about today. I was gonna look into.
I think I'm gonna start Horimiya soon because I was reading it. So yeah. All right. Well, I guess the journey of finally becoming MochaMagica is like goes way back, and a lot of caffeine involved, and
a lot of caffeine.
A lot of caffeine. It's
have you seen my redesign?
I think I've seen like a 2D, like the preview one, but I haven't seen it in a while. If there's a new update.
There might be an update involving me finding an artist, and they have a sketch posted.
Oh.
Let me send this to you. You could show it on stream if you want.
Yeah, I could show it on stream.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny because I'm also working on a new model with my artist.
Yeah, I know. You were talking about that like a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah, we're almost done with the pre-final draft. So I'm just gonna final look over and like change like a few things, and then boom, we're done with it. And then I have to rig it myself, which I'm really excited for.
I need to find someone to rig it.
Yeah, market price for those is gonna be gonna be pretty rough.
Hey, good thing I got a new job now.
True. Yeah, just
all of
I guess
my
a note.
Go to VTubing.
Yeah, I guess a note is VTubing is expensive unless you know some people or you're very like you know what's up, I guess. Oh yeah, this is cute. This is cute. I will.
Oh hell yeah.
Let me put the yeah, this is a pretty good picture. Let us save image. Download. Let's call this new design preview. JPEG. Okay. So, who is ready? I believe a lot. Have your Discord seen it yet?
My subs have seen it. I think people who are not subbed have seen it too. Because I'm pretty. Yeah, I retweeted it. So you know, a lot of people have seen. I don't know if Clintonimo Bay, who just joined the chat, I don't know if they've seen it.
That's a great name. Oh, where'd it go? Did I not download it? What the heck? Show.
I love you too, Clint.
A JFIF file? What?
JFIF.
What? let's just file save as JPEG. Yeah, I think that will work. Alright. Desktop. JPEG. Alright, this is gonna be a fat picture. Boom!
Hell yeah. So there's the sketch. The image in the top left. That's the not the sketch, the concept that my friend Hot Sauce Miku came up with.
I think I've met Hot Sauce before.
You might have. But yeah, I was going for like basically everything that you see was all her idea, and I didn't really have. I had a little bit of say in what I wanted, but I'm very indecisive, so I mostly left everything up to her, and she did a great job, I think. So the dress is kind of Madoka inspired, but also kind of like cafe maid inspired. So it's kind of a match of those two.
The palette. It's very nice.
Yeah. The hair clip in my hair, does that look familiar?
The hair clip. I need to like enlarge the picture. Oh, that's scuff right there. I want to, without like, let me enlarge it real quick. I think that is the, that's Yui's hair clip.
That is Yui's hair clip.
I'm a genius.
So that's.
I'm a true K-On. I'm a true K-On fan.
You sure are. And then I'm not a bunny, but I have like ribbon ears that look like a bunny. And then on the back of my dress, there's supposed to be like a bunny tail. And then if you look at my shoes on the bottom, there's like little cotton balls behind the shoes. So yeah, it's really cute. I really like it. It's gonna look great.
It's like a fluffy coffee vibe.
Yes, fua fua.
Indeed, indeed. All right. Yeah, no, it looks amazing. I'll probably leave it up here if that's cool with you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Yeah, so we're going to move on to, I guess we're just going to go, I guess, a little more deep dive, where we're going to talk about more of your experiences VTubing. It's been about, you said since March, so it's been about like 9 to 10 months since you've been VTubing. And I guess from like, I guess we'll like start at the early days, I guess. Let's say like the first couple of months or so. What was your experience, your feelings then? Just kind of going into the VTuber community world.
Like many VTubers, extremely scuffed debut. I actually didn't record it. I forgot to record it.
Me too.
I didn't turn VODs on. A lot of people have said that. I think we do it on purpose though. we forget on purpose.
It's like, oh no, my cringy debut VOD is gone. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Oh no.
So yeah, that was a thing. After that, I was extremely consistent the first like 2-3 months, I want to say. I had a schedule every week. I was streaming like almost every day, and then it just eventually kind of trailed off just from like just because I at the time I didn't have a very good relationship with the current job that I had, and it was kind of mentally draining. I was inside every day because COVID, and it was kind of like stuck in the same chair all day. But I still wanted to be a V2. The streams just kind of slowed down. I really wish they didn't. But in the beginning, I had, and I still do. Like I have like amazing friends who I've met and who have been extremely supportive of me. So it's overall been extremely positive. Everyone, I haven't had like. I'm gonna jinx myself now. I haven't had like a negative encounter with the VTubing community.
That's good.
It's all
That's
been
good.
nothing but positive things.
That's good. There's a lot of drama that happens, and I'm glad you are not a part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You just go on Twitter, and it's like, ooh,
it's
who
like,
did what today?
Luckily, I'm pretty. None of the drama is kind of direct in the people who I follow, so I don't see as much of it as maybe like other people do, but I am happy to say that me and my friends are pretty drama free.
That's good. That's good. Um, do you remember like I guess like your first collabs or your first like people like or the VTubers you've met that you've like stuck with along the or like and or I guess like they're like still here, like it's about the friends we made along the way, right? Kind of thing.
Exactly. One person in particular, I want to say, well, actually, 3 people, 5 people. There's a lot of people. That I talk to like almost every day, and like they've always been supportive of me since like they've met me and stuff. Anna Chino, who they're like a bat VTuber, and they got like a bat thing going on. They're what I want to say my first fan, because they were like I think like one of my first followers. They were like they messaged me. We were talking before the debut, and they told me they were really excited. And it was like the first person outside of the people outside of the like you and like the other people that I knew before VTubing that were there to support me. Like they were the first person who was there, who didn't know me before VTubing, and that was really like reassuring. They helped me a lot with like getting over that did the debut nerves and stuff. And they've also drawn like some really nice art for me, and just very, very grateful to have them. And then, geez, who else? Obviously, people in chat. A lot of the people who I've met in chat, I've met through another one of my friends, Paki Akiba. She is an autumn goddess VTuber, and she's really nice. She's really lovely. She's the person I collabed with like a week ago. I was super nervous, but she was really nice and helped me feel more comfortable. I haven't really collabed with a lot of people, which I'm trying to do more of. But yeah, and there's so many other people. Like basically anyone who I interact with on Twitter, they're most likely like a friend or something like that. I consider to be I consider like a friend basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's good that you like made a community from like VTubing and whatnot, and yeah, especially like I think like the VTuber boom, I guess. I feel like January through March we did see a huge boom in like pre-debut VTubers. I don't know if you like were there or like were noticing the influx of like Twitter accounts. Those like pre-debut, and like it's just cool that like I guess the ones that make it out like us and actually make it past pre-debut. It's just like it's really like heartwarming and encouraging that I guess one is like if you put in the work and you'll always get some sort of reward, and it's like, and the other is like, yeah, it's just like always good to just how grow that community like passively, and if not like or actively even. It's just like really nice how the indie VTuber community does that for us.
Yeah. I from what I've experienced, it's definitely a lot of you kind of get what you put into it as far as like work and stuff goes. Which with me, it's very telling because I had like a lot of growth in the beginning, and then I've been kind of stagnant since I kind of slowed down on streams. So there's a very obvious like stagnation, which I'm not worried about by any means. Like I said before, I'm here to make funny clips, make friends, have fun. But no, it does show when you put the work in. People do tend to see it and appreciate it. So that's why I'm going all out with this new redesign. I have a lot of secret things planned that a lot of people don't know about.
That's good. Well, look forward to MochaMagica's I guess like new model debut. I think it'll be very exciting. I hope that like I'll be there. If I can make it, I will definitely be there because I gotta support all the homies. And yeah, like I guess like outside of like the community, what are like I guess like the takeaways? I guess we'll go with the good for now first. Like what are some good takeaways and I guess like lessons you've learned from becoming a VTuber until now?
So we're doing the good stuff first. Okay.
Yes.
The kind of good that I've noticed is there's there's kind of a place for everyone. VTubing, I think, has been very good at helping people kind of find, especially during COVID, find kind of online communities and friends that they feel like they belong in. Um, Obviously, with COVID, a lot of people are stuck inside all the time, so we're all chronically attached to the internet. So I think it's been very good for that. And one thing for me why I think I like VTubing so much is because um I feel like it's a good what's the word I want to use? It's a good outlet for all of the creative things I want to do, because like if I want to draw, like I can do like a drawing stream. Um I was a choir kid, so I really want to do like song covers and stuff, but that just kind of has its own hurdles with like me learning sound design and like being comfortable enough with my voice, um,
Mm.
that kind of stuff. But like if I want to do song covers, I can do song covers. Um, what else? Doing like video editing stuff. Like I feel like all of my passions kind of can be fed into VTubing very easily. So that's kind of why I like it so much.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. It's like you could really like kind of funnel in that creative content into like a certain entity. I think that's like one cool thing about VTubing I see. It's just like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a VTuber does this, but a VTuber could also do this. Or a
Mm-hmm.
VTuber could do other things, right? And it doesn't really like have to limit itself to like the model itself. Like for example, like I did a vlog on a tournament that I went to, and like I entered as my VTuber like name, but like obviously I went as like I guess my IRL self, right? But like that still kind of has that representation of like, oh, this a VTuber goes outside, like whoa, crazy, right? But like something like
Mm-hmm.
that, like it's like VTubing, I guess like allows the creator to it's kind of like it's pretty much like a prepackaged brand, kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which,
I mean, it is a brand. It essentially is like what VTubers are doing is they're creating like a personality and like an aesthetic, and they're attaching a kind of like a brand to it.
Mhm.
Even if you don't pursue VTubing financially, um, or like for like a business type thing, um, you still are kind of like marketing yourself and making a brand, and then kind of funneling your creativity into that.
Hmm. For sure, for sure. And what might have been like some of the I guess like bad takeaways or experiences? It's been like 10 months. I've had my fair share. I feel like everyone has their fair share of kind of like that oh gosh kind of moment. Um, Either
Yeah.
with like chat or just like the stream just going haywire or like something falls through or something like that. Has there been any experiences like that for you so far?
Um, Not anything too bad. Obviously, this was just an issue with like all of Twitch, but like back when the hate raids were going on, I had to
Mm-hmm.
get rid of a couple like of those like follow bots.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Luckily, I never got hit by it too bad. Um, which I don't know if you had any experience with the hate raids at all.
I haven't been hate rated, just botted. Like,
Spotted. Yeah.
Hoss raids, you know, it's just like, oh, okay, just ban them.
Yeah.
And then someone made the
Um,
bot, and it was like, fine.
Yeah, and I haven't, like, beyond that's probably like the worst thing I've experienced. Obviously I've seen other people deal with worse, and VTubing does have a lot of negative aspects from kind of the idol industry. Um,
Hmm.
so that has its own host of issues, but
Right.
everything for the most part has been very positive in my experience. But I have seen the bad and the ugly, just not in my sphere of influence, luckily.
That's good. That's good. Luckily, I mean, I guess it's like kind of the blessing of being like a small indie VTuber. At the same time, it's just like, oh wow, it actually does happen, and we have to be careful. Especially like demographic wise as well, right? It's like if you have like a girl model, it's just like, oh yeah, they're probably, I could probably simp for them and whatnot. It's like, no, that's not the case, buddy. But like, yeah.
Oh yeah, like parasocial relationships and
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Parasocial relationships. What
And
a lovely term.
it's great. I there have been instances, I won't get into them, but yeah, I've had to deal with some stuff like that before.
Yeah, there's especially with like some of my friends, it's like, yo, my dog dies. Like, what do I do? It's like, go to the hospital, you idiot. Like,
Oh,
what do you want
yeah.
me to do? Like, I'm a streamer. Like,
We are not therapists.
yeah, it's like,
Please don't. I need to go to a therapist myself. I definitely cannot help you.
and also, I guess a PSA: therapy is not a negative connotation. Everyone probably needs therapy.
Oh yeah.
Some more than others, but it's okay if you go to therapy. Like, just like it's okay.
I love therapy.
Yeah, therapy's
It's a very,
great.
very, very good place to just like talk about what you don't want to talk about. It's good.
Yeah, especially like, I think like, especially for VTubing, I did talk about this a little bit on the last episodes. Especially with VTubing, it's like we, at the end of the day, like we are a character, and I think it's really hard for some individuals to understand that, like, look, I'm just a person, and like, dude, I'm a fish. Like, you want a fish to give you life advice? Like, okay, it won't be good. Like, yeah, it's just
Blub blub.
yeah. Yeah, just blub blub and life will be better. Like, yeah, like what do you want me to do, right? Like, there's only so much VTubers can do, but we're just here to have a good time and I guess like make people, you know, happy, right? Just not in the way that we give therapy.
Well, okay, so this is kind of a tangent, but one thing that I thought of. So I was a streamer before. Going from like, I wouldn't say, I guess it is just like, kind of like what streaming used to be, or what people used to think when they thought of a streamer, with like the webcam and like playing games and stuff, like that kind of streaming. Like some people still do it, obviously. Going from that to VTubing, it feels different. Like, I don't know why, but it just feels different. And I don't know, I feel like I put more pressure on myself because of it. So that's been something interesting that I've been just kind of been dealing with lately, is I feel like I set my standards too high for myself. And that wasn't something like before. I would like get home, open League, turn stream on, go feed my games for the day.
Right. Yeah.
And now it's like, and I would do those League streams for like hours. Like I would my average stream time was like 5 hours long.
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm like mentally exhausted by like the 2 hour mark. So it's just, I don't know what the specifics of why that is. I think it's because I put a lot of, like, I'm thinking about a bunch of different things at once, and I put a lot of pressure on myself to kind of, I don't know, I guess uphold the character
Mm-hmm.
that I kind of am trying to represent. Um, but really, I don't really have like a character or lore. Like I try to be myself as much as possible, but I still feel like I still feel like it's just different from how I used to stream.
Right. Yeah, I guess I could like share in your sentiments. Like I used to, when I was like, sometimes I come home from work at like 10 or 11 or whatever, which I still do. And like Terraria Tuesdays for me is like Terraria Wednesday mornings, which is not healthy, but whatever. Sometimes
Hey,
like,
it's fine.
yeah, demon hours, right? But like,
Hmm.
sometimes it's just like, if there's a webcam, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I could try being unique. I'm streaming in PJs, right? Which I like. I mean, you can still stream in PJs as a VTuber. Like, nothing's gonna stop you. Like, who's gonna find out? But like, it's kind of like a
I
different
mean,
like vibe.
yeah, I'm in PJs now.
Hype. Yeah, like, it's more of, I think, like the fact that there's a. I wouldn't say it's a wall behind you, but it's like, I guess that kind of, it's kind of like this thing that adds to, I guess, like, for a loose term, magic. You know, it's just like, there we have this technology where if I move my eyes around, like, it actually works. Like, anime is
Hmm.
now real, and
Anime is real.
yes, anime is real, and especially with anime being more integrated with culture, especially like in America, with I guess the push for more localization and for popular anime like Demon Slayer or My Hero Academia, and obviously Dragon Ball is just like a lot of anime is now integrated with I guess like culture, like especially in America, maybe somewhere else. I know like because I'm Korean, right? So it's just like in Korea, I know there's like a ton of weebs. It's like it's over, like it's over. So like
The entire country just consumed.
yeah, and like because of that, it's just like we have this kind of like not self-imposed, but like this like passively imposed expectation to become like anime, right? And
Right.
and like obviously our models are very not animal, anime-esque.
Sometimes animal.
Yeah, sometimes like if you look at like Hololive, it's just like, yep, half of these are animals. Or like maybe you could be like Juniper Arctios, which is like her model's crazy cool, and like
Oh,
some
yeah.
like Eldritch Horror one in Japan that I saw. There's like so much like you could do with VTubing, but like it still has kind of that anime-esque style. So I guess it does, like as you were saying, put that kind of like self-imposed expectations, like, oh, I have to be this kind of certain way, and kind of like follow this guideline that isn't really there when you stream with like just a camera.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah. It's just like the dynamics of VTubing, especially like indie VTubing. It's like so interesting to me. It's like, I don't know, it's just so fun exploring like the social dynamics of it too.
What's crazy to me is a lot of the kind of tech that has been created specifically because of VTubing,
Mm-hmm.
like VRoid Studio, VTube Studio. I don't know if you use VTube Studio.
I use VTube Studio, yeah.
Yeah. I use a 3D model now, so I haven't played with it too much. But like the crazy things that they're adding and that people are making for it, like plugin wise, is insane. Definitely as a programmer, it gives me something to look forward to if I ever want to like do something with that,
Mm-hmm.
because I'll have a 2D model here pretty soon. Yeah, and like all the face tracking stuff is really cool. Someone just released like an ARKit app for Android, because it used to be you need to have iOS to kind of use ARKit.
Right.
But someone made an Android app for it. So yeah, a lot of really cool tech things.
So I guess like the age-old question, now that you mention it, did you originally want to go full 2D, or did you want to like do 3D? Because it definitely depends on the VTuber, like what they like. But I just want to hear like, are you like a 2D model kind of person or a 3D model kind of person?
So at first, I wanted 2D, and then I was like, how the hell am I gonna do that? So then I was like, okay, Vroid Studio's free. I'll just do the best I can with Vroid, and I think I did a pretty good job. Um, one big complaint that I had with Vroid models was that I always thought the default skin texture, at least in the old version, I think the new version has a different skin texture, but I had like a big complaint about that. So I got a different skin retexture off of Booth. It was like $10. It was worth the money. So that was good. But yeah, so I did want to be 2D at first, but I was like, well, I got to be 3D because Vroid Studio is free, and like I can get by with that. And then I was like, I kind of like my 3D model. Like, there's a lot of cool things you can do. Like, you can do like hand tracking, which I bought. What's it called? What's the tracker called? I don't even know it. I own it and I don't even know what it's called.
Oh, it's that thing that like tracks the fingers, right?
Leap motion. I got a leap motion, and I used it once, and I haven't, because I find it's like it's really hard to find a place to set it up properly to track your hands. At least with my setup anyway. Probably just need to clean my desk. Too many coffee mugs. So I was like, yeah, there's a lot of cool things you can do with 3D model. Because I was planning on getting an iPhone. Still haven't gotten an iPhone yet, but my next phone, I would like to get an iPhone. And I was like, oh, I can do like the cool, like AR kit tracking. Like I can figure out a way to like rig it with the AR kit tracking stuff.
Right.
But now I'm back to kind of like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting a 2D model now, but now I'm kind of back to like, yeah, I think I want to be 2D. At least until I want to do like VR chat hangouts, and I will need a 3D model to like use in VR chat. Or if I want to do like a Beat Saber stream or something.
Yeah. Personally, I wanted to be like, I always wanted to do 2D, for sure, because I don't know, I just feel like it melds better with the overlay, and there's always so many Vroid memes out there. It's like, okay, I don't want to be them, right? It's like, all right, which like 100 of the same Vroid model. There's like a meme. It's like, you're like in pre-debut era when there's like 100 of the same Vroid models. Just like, oh gosh.
Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with Vroid. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, there's obviously
it a lot of people. It has like a bad just like stigma around it. Like people, it's. I don't think it's right. A lot of people make fun of people who had Vroid models, and I don't think it's right. I think it's very rude of them.
Yeah, I think I guess like growing as a VTuber during like the Twitter era, like the VTwitter era was like, wow, that's a lot of Vroid, buddy. Like,
yeah.
And Vroid now is like really good. The new
Vroid's
API, like it released in like October or something. I was like, wow. And I took a look at it. I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, this is way better than what they did in like March or like January. Like, and now it's like, if you want to be 3D, this is a very good way to get into it. And I think the UI for it is very easy, much easier than it was before. It could be the same, but I've heard very good things about the new Vroid Studio. Yeah, like honestly, I think like 3D is like the pinnacle of like budget VTubing. If you want to be a budget VTuber, Vroid Studio now is like the way to go.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're like a Blender god.
Yeah, unless you have like a 3D animation degree, which, first of all, how the hell do you understand Blender? I can't even draw a square sometimes. Yeah.
My friend made a donut. It was pretty sick. And then he quit.
I see. I can't even do that.
Yeah, but like, yeah, VTubing. I think VTubing now in 2022 has changed greatly from VTubing 2021. Did you agree with that?
I think we are entering a new era. I have no idea what I mean when I say that, but I'm sure something is going to. I mean, things are always changing. There's going to be something different, I'm sure. What I'm excited for is for more development in that hand tracking for people who play guitar on stream.
Yeah, it's been rough. I'm using an iPhone, an old iPhone as a camera right now. It's been rough.
Ooh.
Like it kind of makes it cool because like, oh yeah, I actually could play. Here's video evidence, but at the same time it kind of takes away from the VTuber feel.
Right.
And like, I know that some corporate VTubers will have to wear gloves, and it's like, yeah, no, I ain't wearing gloves while I'm playing. Like, you know how hard that is?
Yeah.
Heck no. Right?
Well, so for the tracking for that, you could wear like, I wonder if you could wear like mocap rings
I think it's
on your
possible.
fingers. Yeah, and then you could track it that way. That would be interesting to see. But yeah, definitely webcam takes away from it a little bit. I think it'd be cool once that kind of tracking and rigging is perfected. That'll be very neat.
The other solution is to commission someone to make my sweater for my new VTuber model, and then it would actually be kind of cool. That's like the other solution. I feel like both solutions are gonna cost exorbitant amounts of money, so no one's really winning here, except for the market. But
the artist.
Yeah, the artist, and
that's something I've been thinking about too. Is that I feel like VTubing's been pretty good for artists. Like they've been able to, if not have more money as like a side job, some of them have been able to like kind of make careers because of VTubing.
Right. Especially like when I think like some of the riggers, like 2D riggers who've been like doing models since like 2020. Oh my gosh, it's like they're so established now. It's like, oh yeah, $700 for 2 expressions and a full body track. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's probably worth it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's probably how much I'll have to spend, which I don't mind. I'm pretty invested in this. I enjoy it. I don't feel like it's a waste of money at all.
Right, and it's yeah, at the end of the day, as long as you enjoy it, right? So. All right. Well, I think another question I had before we go into the next, I guess, like big thing was like, I guess like, do you have any plans, I guess, for 2022, like for content? Like, do you have like a specific like plan in mind? It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna like collab with this person, and then go do this person, and all that.
I did do kind of like a New Year's resolution thing at the beginning of the year, but honestly, the only big things I have are like obviously the model re-debut or the redesign debut. I do want to get a song cover out. I do have a couple of songs in mind that I've been singing in the shower, to kind of test that out. And then I have to learn like Reaper. I don't know if people use Reaper at all, but I have Reaper, and
I used to use Reaper. It's actually kind of nice. The only thing that's like kind of meh is their routing, but we could talk about that another day because audio stuff is very lingo heavy, so don't want to bore anyone.
Audio is so foreign to me. I also have FL Studio. FL Studio came for free with my laptop, and I downloaded it, and I'm like, hey, I can make a drum, and I can't do anything beyond like a looping drum.
Mm.
Um, yeah, audio is very foreign to me, but I feel like audio is so important.
Yes,
Um,
it is.
I just don't know anything about it, and it bothers me. And there's no amount of YouTube videos that I can watch that will help with that. Um, Other content plans. That's what we were talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah, really, I just kind of do things as I go. I will say, I will give away one piece of one of the surprises that I'm working on. Um, I am kind of working on. It's not really an ARG, but it's kind of like an ARG, and there's gonna be like a website involved.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of fun. It may or may not be how I announce my redesign debut. Um, who knows? We'll have to see.
All right, we'll put that on your imaginary calendars because that's coming up sometime soon, later, maybe now, who knows? Yeah,
2025.
2025. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and yeah, no, honestly, I will always try to give my support when I can because you're a good
Mhm.
friend of mine. Also, one of
Thank
the
you.
early, pretty much like you're also in like the early kind of like VTubers I've met, pretty much, per se. Even though we
Yeah.
kind of go way back, but like, yeah, I guess like one of the first VTubers I met. It's like you, Kuti, Remy, all those
Hmm.
people. So it's just like, yeah, if I could do anything for you, just like let me know.
Of course. Same to you.
Yeah, and yeah. So I guess like the final thing that I did want to brush upon is kind of the all right, screw it. We're just gonna address the elephant in the room. So um as we've talked about before a little bit earlier in the podcast, it's VTubing is like a great way for LGBTQ plus members to express themselves, and I think like I did want to go more into that because I'm also interested in that dynamic as well. It's just like the majority, I believe, of VTubers are LGBTQ plus. Like that was my first impression as a VTuber because I guess like as a cis straight male, like it's
How
like
dare you?
I
No, I'm
know,
joking.
right? I'll have my twit longer in the morning. Yeah, like it was a very like I guess an eye-opening experience for me. It's just like it's like wow, it's like this is like so good that like anyone could express themselves, especially like from the medium I come from. I just like doing it because I like the concept of VTubing. It's just like, oh, you can be
Anime.
anime? Sick, right?
Yeah.
So,
um.
go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's something I noticed too. Is that a lot of obviously in case people didn't know, I am a trans woman. Um, and a lot of the people that I'm friends with in the community are also um, trans or like gender non-conforming, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then obviously I like you kind of said, there's a lot of just LGBT people in general in the VTuber community, and yeah, I feel like it's been a very good avenue to kind of experiment with gender identity. Um, One really big thing with me, and I still kind of struggle with it, is kind of like my voice. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me to have a somewhat feminine sounding voice. And literally, um, so I debuted in March, and I started planning to become a VTuber back in like January. And I was
Mm.
like, shit, I've never done like voice training before. I've never even like attempted to kind of mess with my voice in any way. So I like panic was like trying to like do a bunch of different things, and eventually like obviously this is what I sound like, but there's a lot of times where I feel like I don't sound good enough, and that kind of weighs on me. And no one's ever like been like, oh, you sound weird or anything like that. But it's basically just all in my head. But that's like one specific like thing that just uh, that I struggle with. And I feel like VTubing has helped me with that. I feel like without VTubing, there's probably a lot of things that I wouldn't have done. Heck, I don't even know if I would have like come out socially as trans without the VTubing community. So it's definitely been a positive thing for me personally, and I'm sure for many other people too. But
Yeah, it's definitely good that VTubing as a medium is like, it kind of like strengthens the individual to like truly express themselves. I mean, like behind like a character per se, but like still like I think like another thing is like the still in the behind the VTuber is an actual, it's a human being. Like it's like who they are, and the fact that through VTubing that they're able to do so is like really good. Like health wise, like mentally, like mental health, and like pretty much like the way they interact with people, or like just even like physical health as well. It's just like because obviously mental health, with enough like issues with mental health, then that's when then your body starts taking a hit, and it's just like, yeah, it's not good, right? So
right.
the fact that VTubing is able to do that is really good. I did want to ask you though, like, so there are so many benefits to VTubing for, I guess, like the LGBTQ plus community. In what ways might it be detrimental? Like, do you think that there are any like possible dangers to VTubing in general? Like as a general, like I guess like to start off, it's like the social circles, I guess. That's like you're kind of like compartmentalizing. It's like, oh, you're only like being able to express yourself in this medium, but like not in other mediums. But like, do you think that there might be any like possible detriments to VTubing for the trans community, or like in general the LGBTQ plus community?
I don't know. Explain what you mean by compartmentalizing a little
Like,
bit more.
it's like more of an example, but it's like, oh, like since you're only like able to express yourself as a VTuber in like the VTuber like setting, and there's a possibility, I don't know how often or like if this even happens at all, it's just like a theory, like you just completely like shut yourself off from the real world, kind of.
Right. Oh, yeah. I think especially with COVID, like I think this is just it might be a thing with all VTubers. They get kind of stuck in their life basically becomes, I've heard the term chronically online, like you're just constantly on the internet. I feel like it can have like a negative impact on people. But like specifically to the LGBT community, I think it's an issue with that. People just heck, even non-VTubers have an issue of being kind of stuck in their own echo chambers and stuff like that. I think it's good for people to, take a step back and yeah. So what I thought you were gonna ask was about like how there might be dangers for the LGBT VTuber community.
It's also a good question that I didn't ask, but feel free to answer it.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, like, a lot of people don't understand like different gender identities or different sexual identities, and I feel like since they don't understand it or they don't agree with it, a lot of times there's a lot of very hateful people, and they'll go around and do their thing. But that's just it's not specific to VTubing by any means. It's just a problem with humans. Humans are mean.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like all of those kind of issues are never really specific to VTubing. I feel like it's just people as a whole.
Do you think VTubing makes it easier for people to zero in on to do those kinds of things, or is it more of like, oh, just happens to be a VTuber?
I don't think VTubing does. One thing that was kind of interesting, that me and some of my friends were talking about, when Twitch came out with the the stream tags, and they included like a lot of LGBT stuff, which is great because now people can like filter streams by tag, and if they want to find someone who kind of has like a similar identity that they do, and they want to like kind of find comfort in a person like that, they can with like the tagging and stuff. But then also what me and my friends were talking about is it does make it easier for people to kind of find LGBT people to kind of hate on and kind of go in and do some classic trolling. So I don't remember if I think I might still have the trans tag on my stream. I think during the hate raids I didn't have it up, but yeah, like things like that. It's kind of it's good that the tag is there, but I know a lot of people don't use it for that reason, unfortunately.
I see. Yeah, no, that's definitely really good insight. And like definitely like, yeah, I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword, I guess. It's just like it's good for people to be able to relate, but at the same time it's just like you're a walking target. So it's just like yeah. But that, I guess, it's just like the mood of the internet, and hopefully it just yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen, but you know, it's the internet.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll encounter something. Like oh, excuse me. I know I keep saying like nothing too bad has happened to me yet, but I'm sure in time it'll just happen. And I have a pretty good team of mods, so I feel like I'd be able to handle any hate or anything pretty well. Got a good support system too, but
that's good.
Yeah.
What the community is for, right? So
exactly.
So a good team.
Strata's one of my mods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
honestly, the biggest troll in my chat, if I'm being honest.
That's how you know it's a good mod.
Are they really a mod if they're not the ones bullying you?
Yeah, it's true. That's like the sword tag is there for reasons, to hit you with it.
Yep, exactly.
So are you like well connected with the trans VTubing community? And like, if so, like, what has your been experience so far? Or like, were there any other VTubers that like helped you throughout the process or anything like that, for lack of a better term?
So like with all of my VTuber friends, I'm very shy. It takes a lot of mental energy to even have a conversation sometimes. Not mental energy, well, I guess mental and social and spiritual and physical energy. So I try to talk to people, and everyone who I've tried talking to has been super nice. It's just a me thing. I feel very shy and nervous, and even you know, we were talking earlier about like the podcast and everything, and I was kind of nervous even doing this, but there are a lot of people who I've talked to, and I would say have been very supportive members of the trans VTuber community. One of them who she's like one of the first streamers that I met. So obviously the first big one was Penelope Punch. She used to go by Patty KTV, but she's now Penelope Punch. Um, she was the one that kind of gave me the confidence to like it, which I never even talked to her before she started streaming, but just like watching her debut, it kind of gave me confidence to kind of pursue my debut. Because before, I don't think I wasn't even gonna say that I was trans before. I was like, oh, it's only gonna bring like negative energy and stuff. But after watching Penelope's debut, it kind of opened my eyes to like all these other members of the community that were there. So that's what gave me the confidence to kind of like kind of enter that community and not try to hide the fact that like I was trans or anything. Just because I was gonna do it just to like avoid any hate, which is wrong. I should be proud of who I am and all that stuff. But I'm a nervous person, so I just felt nervous doing that at first. But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I was true to myself and all that. After I met Penelope, joined her Discord, and then through her Discord I met Ushimimi. She was one of Penny's mods. She does her own streams. She does a really cool thing on her streams where she talks about like self-actualization, and she has you like visualize your ideal self, and she's very supportive, and she's like, go be who you are. And I think even if you aren't trans or LGBT or any of that, I think it's good to kind of, sit down, take a deep breath, and kind of think about what you want in life and what your ideal self would be, and kind of going after and pursuing that. So she was definitely a very good person to kind of be following. And then another one after that, I'm just going in the order of as I met them. Iron TV, that's her Twitch name. We call her Irie. She's like a mahjong genius. She plays a lot of mahjong.
I feel like I've heard of her. I think I watched her streams before.
You might have. I rate her when I get the chance, but she's very involved in the mahjong VTubing community. If you've ever taken a peek in there.
Well, today I learned that there was a VTubing mahjong community.
Oh yeah. And then Irie was actually a member of a trans VTuber group called Lifestyle. And then I met a bunch of people in Lifestyle. They're all really nice and really cool. Yeah, and then from there I've just met like random people, and it's all been great. Great, good people. I haven't encountered like I said, like everyone's been super nice, and everyone's really supportive, and it's been good.
That's good. It's good. I'm glad you're able to like pretty much have a place where you can always find comfort in the VTubing community, and just kind of like, you finally like, I guess like the lack of a better word, like kind of pretty much settled in to VTubing, and that's really good. Like I do know that some VTubers are just like all over the place, and you're just trying to like kind of can't really settle on a certain like thing that they want to do, but I feel like you pretty much have it down, and you pretty much have a clear enough plan of where you want to go as a VTuber.
Yeah, that was it's funny you say that, because I feel like up until like maybe 2 months ago, even though I had a bunch of people like supporting me and stuff, I felt like I wasn't settled in, as you said. But I feel like something clicked back in like December, where I was like, yeah, this is where this is where I belong. Like I have this community now, and everyone's really nice and supportive. And like I kind of know what I want to do with VTubing now, and now I can start work. Because before I was just like, I'm gonna stream and see what happens, and just kind of experiment with VTubing. And now I'm kind of like, yep, this is what I want to do.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I feel like the era of like COVID VTubing, it's like definitely more community based, and definitely it's just like finding a community and just being, you know, just around like your closest friends and stuff. It's just like where you find solace in.
And playing Among Us.
Yes, and Amogus.
Amogus.
Yeah, Amogus.
It's funny you say the COVID era of VTubing. COVID isn't actually over, but
yeah, well, I guess like the first like big like COVID, I guess, mandate.
COVID season 1.
Yeah, COVID season 1. Like pre-Delta is like everyone's at home, everyone's trying to be a VTuber. Yeah, pre-Delta. Yeah.
I don't even remember. Like it's so weird. Like I feel like, I don't know. It's just been time is an illusion. That's all I'll say.
True. I think like, yeah, no, I just remember I was watching this South Park clip and it's like, yeah, now this is a coronavirus Delta rewards max like plus like variant. I just fucking lost it. So that actually might happen. Yeah, COVID before acceptance.
Before acceptance.
Yeah, the 5 stages of grief of COVID. Step 1,
COVID.
Consider VTubing. Step 2, make Twitter. Yeah, and but yeah, no, it's good that what sets indie VTubing apart is just that pretty much that like given like a vibe of acceptance, welcoming, like that's a plane in my like above my house. Wow. Acceptance and just like community building pretty much. It's all about community building for like that era of COVID, because COVID ain't over yet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have pretty much reached the end of the whole interview. I just want to ask if you have any questions for me. You pretty much put me on the hot seat for pretty much, I guess, almost anything you want to ask me.
All right. When are we doing our Fua time cover?
I'm actually kind of down. I might actually start working on it soon. I have a cover that I want to do first. But yes, I will do a Fua time cover with you.
Amazing, because that was one of the songs I wanted to do. But I was like, I know that they have like an instrumental CD, but I'm like, I'm not sure about the legality on that. I'm like, you know, maybe Nemo wants to play guitar for me.
I'm down. Just gotta
awesome.
I just gotta like learn it again for the 4th time. I feel like K-On! Songs, I'll learn it, forget about it, relearn it again, forget about it, relearn it. Like when I did the K-On! Like guitar concert I did way back, that was probably the 3rd or 4th time. Thank you. That was like the 3rd or 4th time I learned those K-On! Songs. But because it's just like you gotta keep practicing to remember them. But yes, I am down to do covers. That is definitely one of the things I wanted to do this year.
Nice. Okay, we'll have to hold each other to it
Yes.
so we don't laze out of it.
Indeed.
No, yeah. Back when I was attempting to learn guitar, that was like one of the songs I could do like the first couple chords on, and then I'm like, my fingers hurt, and then I stopped playing guitar. Other questions. Where do you think VTubing is gonna go next? Are we going to the moon? Are we going to Mars?
Okay, so when I started VTubing like January, like actually I did recently have my 1 year like retrospect, but when I first started VTubing, I like was in like the first half, like barely in the middle of like Twitter just blowing up, like for an unknown reason. Like I always talk about this, like it's like kind of the funniest thing ever, but like just because like literally like the 1% is people who make it out of pre-debut. It's just like so many Twitter accounts were made of like pre-debut VTubers, and I was just like, because like I rigged the model myself. That's why it's so fucking scuffed. So
It's beautiful.
like but like when I saw it, it's just like, oh my gosh, like is there just gonna be so many VTubers? Like it's almost like as if there's an oversaturation of indie VTubers, and especially with the Pokimane drama and the PewDiePie drama, it was just like the oversaturation was like kind of making indie VTuber community kind of look like a joke. Like
Yeah, kind of look like a fad or a trend, like, oh haha, I'm anime for like a week and then
right, and it kind of gives like actual VTubers a pretty bad name, especially with like the amount of content or like effort people put in to make content. Like even like VShojo before they became VShojo, like as indie VTubers, it's like, yo, these people are like trying their best to make good content, and you have a bunch of Twitter accounts that are just like either A, they really wanted to be VTubers, but then like they saw the price and they were like, or just they just wanted to troll, right? So like my view of VTubing now is that things have mellowed out. I do think that VTubing is going to be more of a kind of like a niche thing, but much more accepted because the debut rate is much lower. Like, especially during Valentine's. Oh my goodness. The amount of debuts that happened on Valentine's Day, it's like, oh yeah, I'm not going on Twitch. This is ridiculous. And like, chances are it wasn't even a model. It was like a PNG reactive image. So I'm like, okay. Like back then I was like, really like, I was kind of elitist, like, oh, I have this model. So therefore like PNG tubers are like, either A, like they can't afford it, which I'm okay with, or they're just not putting enough effort. Now it's a whole lot different because a lot of my good friends are PNG tubers, so you know how life kind of hits you for a life lesson. So
yeah, well, I was like, because we were talking about it earlier, I'm kind of like back to wanting a 2D model. I was thinking about just being a PNG tuber of just like my unrigged model for a bit, because I don't know, I feel, and this is probably just another mental thing, I just like feel weird having a 3D model for some reason now. I don't know why. I feel I don't know if it's like I don't like it tracking like my actual like head movement. I don't know. It's weird. I have a weird thing about like 3D models now, or using them at least.
Yeah, I think it's like now like a preference at this point. Like VTubing like technology has progressed so much in the whole year of 2021, is that like it's actually like so much easier to become a VTuber. But now it's like, now that the fad is over, it's just like no one's really becoming a VTuber. Sure, we'll have a debut here and there, but like most likely the marketing is not good enough for most people to see it. So it's more of like, now if you're gonna be a VTuber now, you're actually dedicated to the cause, which I really respect. And where I think it'll be going in the future, a lot more people will be trying out for HoloLive EN, that's for sure, because auditions are always open now, and once they accept enough people, that's when they start the development phase. I think they start the development phase of the new gen. Nijisanji EN, like, more, I think corporate will always become the main source of VTuber entertainment, and I think that will stay that way throughout this year, but I believe indies will also have a space for their own in the industry.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I never really planned on like joining a corporation or anything.
I'm like the most pettiest dude, so like the only reason why I didn't want to join or try out is like I don't want to lose my own character design.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's a factor of that too.
Yeah, like there's so
My
much work that goes into becoming a corporate VTuber. It's like not even funny.
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine. Yeah, I guess that's a factor. It's like you wouldn't have well, I guess I don't know how much creative input they have, but um it's nice just to kind of like manage yourself and not have not really being managed by others, if that makes sense, which I have no idea of the like behind the scenes stuff, but I feel like it just wouldn't be for me. um I think I want to stay pretty independent as I can be.
Mm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think the charm of indie VTubing is like how much creative process can you see, and for corporate is how much professionalism can you see.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like curated content, then definitely corporate is the way to go. But if you like that organic sense of like scuffness in indie VTubing, then definitely the case. Yeah, just find an indie VTuber you vibe with. I think this year is going to be a good year for VTubing, especially with cons coming back.
Oh yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yes, I like to call it biggest VTuber meetup docs in histories. But
Oh my god.
I
I mean, if I get to meet like some of my VTuber friends IRL, then screw it. I'll dox myself to them. That's fine.
It's like I'm just waiting for a VTuber meetup at 3 o'clock in Hall A, and it's just like everyone's just outside the door because no one wants to dox themselves, but you all know they're VTubers. It's just like, oh my goodness, just it's gonna be like the spiciest event.
Mm-hmm. Insert meme of you're in the middle of a con, and it's you're standing in the corner. No one here knows I'm a VTuber.
Yeah, but like every corner is filled with the same people.
Yeah, every corner is just a VTuber.
Yeah, so hopefully Omicron does get contained.
Hopefully it just fucks off.
Yeah, that too. It just decides to, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, and just leaves. Because I will be doing stuff for FanimeCon 2022 as a tournament organizer, probably an assistant TO, because my friend actually got the position for the main TO, so I'll probably be helping him out. But otherwise, yeah, like I am excited for what 2022 will bring to VTubing, indie VTubing.
I'm actually a fake anime fan. I've never been to a convention before.
That's fine. It's like if you're like, if you don't do well in big crowds, you're not really missing out on much.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be fine if like there's someone. I'd have to go with someone.
Yeah,
like,
go with the
absolutely.
squad. Go with the squad. That's how you go with the squad. And if you can, drink some alcohol before going. Like not belligerently, but like just loosen up.
Something to calm you down. Yeah,
loosen up. It gets way more fun with that. Like. Yeah, it becomes so much more fun. I think, yeah, if you see a random fish just on the floor drunk, that's probably gonna be me at FanimeCon. Anyway.
Just flopping around.
Yeah, I'm just like vibing on the floor. They're like, oh, it's him. But yeah, like, once again, yeah, now that you've reached like the complete end, unless you have more questions, but if not, you pretty much deserve to plug yourself. This is a self-plug. Whatever happening, feel free to advertise and just kind of shout out anything you want. Yeah, you made it. You made it.
Hooray. Obviously, I'm MochaMagica on Twitch and Twitter. Those are really the two biggest things that I'm on. You can find a link to my Discord somewhere. There's a link tree somewhere. I think I renamed everything. Mostly everything's MochaMagica now. So if you see MochaMagica, that's most likely me. I made sure that no one else had the username anywhere else before I took it. Trying to think of what else. I don't really have any dates planned for anything like my redesign. I don't have a date planned because that's still being worked on.
Mhm.
I don't have any like big events coming up, but I've been playing a lot of Genshin lately, and I'm probably gonna play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh on stream. So if you like those two things, then that's probably what I'm gonna be doing in the next couple of months. So
Hype.
stay tuned for that.
All right. Well, thank you, MochaMagica, for coming on the
Thank you
podcast
for
to be
having
a
me.
guest. I really appreciate you coming out. It's always good to learn more about pretty much VTubing and, of course, my guest. It's always a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no. Also want to thank you, the chat and viewers, for pulling up. I will have a VOD of this as soon as possible, and I'll pretty much tweet it and all that stuff. And so that if anyone you want to show it to anyone, you'll have the link. Probably on my Twitter, I'll also at Mocha in it. That way you could reach it that way as well through her profile. And yeah, let's find someone to raid. Do you have anyone in mind you would like to raid? Because you are the guest. You get raid powers.
Super awesome raid powers. Let's see. Do.
Yes, I also do want to thank Miss Rin for the follow. Welcome to the Fish Gang. One Huge Ninja, as well as thank you for the follow as well. Just to introduce myself, I'm Ninomae Nimo, one of the many fish in the sea. I am primarily a Soul Calibur 6 streamer. I am a competitor as well as commentator, and self-deemed the weirdest Keelik player in the world. So, if you want to see some Soul Calibur content, feel free to hit me up. And for free coaching lessons as well for Soul Calibur 6. So there's that as well. So just want to let the followers know what they're getting themselves into. And yeah, like I also will stream Yu-Gi-Oh as well, and Terraria, Maple Story, yeah, just like, but mainly Soul Calibur.
All right. I have someone.
All right.
You don't mind if they're 18 plus, do you?
I don't care.
Okay. Put their name in chat.
All right. All right, so I don't know who she is or he is. Never heard of this person, but we are going to raid them. I believe that is how it's spelled. All right. Once again, thank you all for coming. We are going to raid, and I will catch you later. Peace.
Bye, everyone.